You're talented, driven, and able to change the world with your two thumbs. You're trendsetters, thought leaders, strong learners, and loyal to your cause. You're misunderstood, mishandled, and often invisible. But you're determined to stand up, stand out, and be counted. You're young, powerful, and fluent in today's culture no matter where you live in the world. Yeah, you're young, you're impressive, and you just need caring guidance, a listening ear, and real people who don't try to change you because they think you're not good enough. Welcome to the Young and Impressive program, where we cover pressing, real-life issues for the young and the young at heart. With your hosts and new best friends, you can even call us your uncles, Justin and Dave. And again, welcome to the Young and Impressive program. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, what up, y'all? My name is L. David Harris. You can call me Uncle Dave. And of course, I got my man, Just. He's my brother from another mother, running with me. Of course, every single week, we are investing time with you, and we appreciate you investing the time with us. And before we get started, I just want to welcome you to the youngandimpressive.com web address. There you can find different ways to subscribe to this program if you want to do it a different way than you've already done it. And you can ask your questions, your relevant questions. Ask your uncles. We're your new uncles. And if we have adults eavesdropping, yeah, maybe we can address some of your questions too. But certainly this is intended for the youth, or, young at heart can listen. But no pressure. What's up, Just?
What's up, Dave? What's good, man? How you been?
Man, we here chilling, man. You already know how it is, man. Life is life. We doing what we got to do to, rub two nickels together and try to get a couple bucks out of it.
Yeah, best laid plans, right?
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, man. So it's a privilege, man. What's going on your side?
Man, just, like you said, the grind. I look forward to, taking the time out and getting this in. It's actually a bit of a break from, the raising kids and work and school. And, I just really got a passion for these young people, even though, I may not know them. I may know them. But I just pray that the Lord uses this podcast, this medium to reach somebody, man. We got some stuff to say.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, man. Like we had a conversation the other day, you and me, right? And, it seems like people are different sometimes in different settings. You might say like, these youth are fill in the blank. But really and truly, people are people, man. It really, the generation of people doesn't really matter. Like where the youth are located doesn't really matter. There are little nuances that may make it feel different, but we all bleed. We all need to sleep. We all need to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like we need love, affection.
Yeah. The package is, the package might be different, right? The color might be different. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's all the same, right?
Yeah.
That's jumping right in. That's why this topic we got today, this is a banger right here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I need some weed. Not me. Nah, because I don't actually smoke.
Yeah.
But some people feel like because of whatever life is throwing at them, that they need a way to kind of be taken away from that thing for the moment. And of course, we're not endorsing using anything to take us away, because life doesn't go away once we come back from whatever it is. But bottom line is we can't act like people are not using drugs and other things, maladaptive behaviors. If you want to know what that is, look it up. It's a good way to, learn bigger words, y'all.
Right.
Maladaptive behaviors. But at the end of the day, once we're done with that, maybe food, it may be, immersing ourselves. I see people playing those, what do you call it? The virtual reality games.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So sometimes people use all kind of stuff to get away.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I like that even though we like to give these things them titles to grab you, right?
Yeah.
I need some weed. It's really a metaphor for whatever medium you're choosing to escape, right?
Yeah.
I mean, being a veteran and you being a former, veteran counselor, folks dealing with a lot of stuff, and some will use drugs, some will use alcohol, some will use relationships.
Oh boy.
Some will just go hide somewhere, right? So weed is definitely literal and applicable, but at the same time, it can be whatever you're using to escape the situation that you're currently in.
Yeah. So I'm thinking we should do a couple of things. One, but maybe not first, but one, talk about, that's good, is should we be using something to take us away from reality when the reality is still there? And I don't mean a vacation, because vacation isn't burying the reality. Vacation is more like, I need a break.
Right. It's a recharge.
When I get back, I'm a focus on life again. But should we be using stuff to, quote, get away? And then, what are we really trying to get away from?
Mm-hmm.
And then, what are maybe some better things we can do to deal with those things instead of, what we may be focusing on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think,
so should we do it? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's, me, feet first, head first. Let's jump in.
All the way in. Yeah. So, all right. So whether it be, stimulants, whether it be caffeine as a stimulant, whether it be drugs that are illegal, whether it be misusing prescription drugs, or, being addicted to sex, or, watching too many movies just so that reality doesn't set in. Is there any danger to doing that to get away from reality?
Yeah, I think first the thing that jumps out immediately to me is whatever you're using to get away, when you get back, it's still there. Right? You haven't changed anything except for the timeline, right? You've just postponed it, but it's not gone. Right? So that's first and foremost. And then I would say, why can't you deal with it? Right? I look at a lot of these situations like, someone has provided me a means to not deal with X, right? We'll just call it X. And so I'm going to choose to, smoke weed or whatever to get that. I want to feel better. I don't want to deal with it right now, this, that, and the other. But what I think is often gets overlooked is where'd you get it from? Right. And who is that person? What effect is that person having on you that you're just willing to throw caution to the wind and try something? Because like I said, it's going to make you feel better, or it's going to give you a temporary relief from X, And so, I'm fortunate enough to, and a lot of people don't believe this, but never tried it, never will. That's kind of my,
serious.
I joined the Navy obviously at 17, right? But the friends I had weren't really into it. They never pressured me to do it. And then once I went in, military has a zero tolerance policy for that.
Yeah, you peeing in the cup.
Yeah,
or whatever else they got now.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so it never really was any pressure on me to do it. But I will say, just about every other person, like I feel like I'm the only one, like literally, but I attribute it a lot to the time that I was in the Navy where nobody was doing it. So there was no pressure for me to do it. And now that I'm 45, I'm not worried about it at all, but if you're, you're a teen, right? You're a young adult, early teen, preteen, whatever you want to call it. And your friends are offering you alternatives to reality. You gotta reevaluate who you around. Who's the one influencing your decisions,
right?
And
Yeah.
why are they incapable of listening to you and helping you deal with these issues?
Right. Yeah. So, okay, so it's the reality, like, so some people are doing it because like life at home, like really ain't no good. Maybe the parents are having problems, or maybe, God forbid, there's, some kind of abuse going on in the household. Maybe you're going through some kind of abuse, whether physical, mental, emotional, sexual, God forbid. And it feels like if I don't do something, I'm going to lose my mind. And the something isn't always good, but at the same time, you feel like, I need to do something. Yeah. So, if that's you, first thing I'll say is if you're in school, go to whatever they call guidance counselor in your school. That person that is set up to help you through your schooling, through, if God forbid you get yourself in a little bit of trouble, like that person that's supposed to be helpful in those situations, go to them and let them know what's up. Like, I know that people try to bury it, when the home is not right. But if it's driving you to do something that's harmful to yourself, and these things are, then you need to find somebody that can help. And so, again, if you're of school age, going to grade school or high school, then definitely go to the guidance counselor and immediately let them know, like, you feel like your life is out of control because X, Y, or Z is happening at home or even around the house, and let them help you. They'll know how to steer you correctly. I'm not going to give you particular advice on that because that can get a little bit hairy.
But what if that's whack? I'm not going to the
telling.
Yeah, I'm not going to the guidance counselor. I'd much rather, kick it on the corner with the fellas or call my girl, or, it's not, I know it's bothering me, but it's not a big deal. Right.
Well, I mean, if it's one thing, if you think that's, cool, and you're using these things not to get away, but you're doing it just because you want to be cool. It's just a part of your lifestyle. That's a different program. But if you're doing it to get away from something, let me know how that works for you. Like, if you're doing that to get away from something and it's still staring you in the face when you're done, then it could be whack to go tell somebody and get help. But it's worse to have to keep coming back to the thing. Yeah. Like, because every time you get up, like, see it as a boxing match. Like, if you covering up, and to cover up means to smoke the weed or to do the thing that's not good. All you're doing is covering up. When you open back up, bam, get hit back in the mouth. Right. So since that don't work, and soon your teeth are going to be gone, and worse, your jaw's going to get broke, maybe you should go get some help to get out of that fight, because that fight is not going to stop by what we call self-medicating or doing something to kind of take us away. It's not really going to take you away. It's like the kid, it's like the little baby that plays peekaboo, like covers up their eyes and think that you disappear.
Gone, right?
like everybody disappears when I cover my eyes, but when they open up, it's like, I see you. Like, yeah. So yeah, it could be whack, but it's worse when the issue does not get resolved and you could have actually gotten some help.
So what is the alternative? Only to go talk to the guidance counselor or maybe the youth leader at the church or the community organizer, or, what? That's
a first step. If you feel out of control at home, I'm picking home as an example. Now, if we talk about different kinds of troubles, then we go to home first. Right. But what I'm saying was that you may be having issues at home. So you need a responsible third party who's connected to the systems that are supposed to be helpful to youth in your situation or children in your situation. Now, if it's, an issue that is not home centric, meaning, you're having some other problem, then the first place you want to go is to your parents.
Right.
If they're not the issue, go to your parents first.
If they're not the issue, absolutely.
If they're not the issue, home is first. Mommy and daddy, or whoever your caretaker is. I know some of y'all have, guardians, you have foster parents, you have, grandparents, aunties, whoever it is, then they may be your first line of defense. Like, go to them first.
Yeah. And, something I think that really concerns me about this generation, and I don't, I want everyone listening to this to reject the notion that millennials and post-millennials are weak and soft,
right.
And, because that's just not true, right? We all grew up in different times, and, you guys are just dealing with things that we didn't have to deal with on top of the stuff that we dealt with, and trying to figure out how to grow up all at the same time. So please reject the notion that you guys are weak. But I want to talk about the idea that society has determined that these young people, our target audience, can't deal with these issues, right? That everyone assumes that they're going to turn to, a drug of choice or alcohol or promiscuity or whatever, right? And I've said it many, many times that I think the best thing that the military did for me was it forced me to face my problems, right? Like literally the day that I showed up for boot camp, 17 years old, about 60 days out of high school, dude yelling and cursing, and I just wanted to go home, right?
Right.
But I had no choice. I had to wake up the next day after about 2.5 hours of sleep and get started.
At it again.
Yeah. And then, saying the brother yelling and cursing and, calling me
your
face. Like, oh yeah, the whole nine. About the only thing they can't do is put their hands on you.
Right.
But what I learned after about 2 to 3 days was, that's it. Like you're just gonna yell and scream and I'm gonna be tired. You know what I mean? So I learned my coping, the mechanism I used to cope was to tell myself that it really just isn't that bad. Right. And that I'm there for a reason. So, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that first shorty that broke their heart. Right. And you curled up in the bed. You don't want to get up because so-and-so, oh, I saw Susie kissing Jeff. She's supposed to be my girl. You know what I mean? And, we want to hide from that. We don't want to get up. But, the context of, first and foremost, it ain't going away, right? It's not changing. And then secondly, that I have a responsibility to myself to get over this, right?
Yeah.
Like the 200-meter hurdles, right? I'm going to jump. I'm going to keep going. Something else is coming. I'm going to jump and I'm going to keep going. All of the distractions of trying not to approach that hurdle just makes it that much harder to get over. So if we acknowledge, shorty broke my heart, or my grades, suck in school, or whatever the case, like I'm struggling, acknowledge it and then say, you know what? Oh, that's it. Oh, I can get over that.
Yeah. I like how you use the word responsibility because, there's a young man in the hood somewhere near me who went to our church. And when I say hood, I'm talking about for real. Mm-hmm. And so in this area, there are homes that are built in the way that you expect, and then there are homes that people just put up with plyboard and zinc and whatever.
Whatever
right?
you can find.
Yeah. And so it just happens that on this particular road, this block, it was one of those put up house. I'll say it like that so most of our audience can understand it, right? And so this young man who looked like a grown man, but he's a young man, like this, he had a little thing for a young woman, and she did not reciprocate. Like she did not enjoy him as much as he enjoyed the fantasy of her,
right? Or that he wanted to.
Yeah. And so what he decided to do when she finally made herself quite clear is he burned down the block, bro, literally.
Wow.
Like he started with his own house. Like he lit his house on fire and that thing just went right down the block. Whoa, whoa, whoa. burn up people's house, bro.
Wow.
Literally. That was his drug of choice, lighting that joint on fire. And of course, in a community as the one that I'm referencing, the income level is already extremely low. And so, like, your church is right in the community, and this dude goes to your church. Now, the hood is looking at you like, how y'all gonna fix these houses, man? Literally.
Yeah, like
they looking at you like, well, what you gonna do about this?
Yeah.
Right? And then later, once my man had to face, I mean, he had to run away, by the way. He had to go away because the hood was looking for him.
Yeah.
And then he had an uncle who had a little clout that at least he could get back in the hood without nobody doing him anything. But it turns out that the church and the organization that sort of runs the churches had to come up with some money to put these people back together, bro, because this dude decided to light the community or the block on fire.
Right.
And then he's asking me for money for underwear. And I'm like, but you just lit your house on fire, bro. 17 years old.
Yeah.
You lit your house on fire.
Right.
But do I turn my back? I mean, so you have all of this. So people, like, as y'all may be thinking, it's like, oh, well, you're listening to his story and be like, well, mine ain't that bad. But the reality is, at some point, no matter what we're doing to not face reality, is going to turn into a big inferno in our lives. And we'll wonder, how did I get here?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why some of these young bucks are running up on schools and other places. And let's just say they're hurting people that don't have nothing to do with their problems.
Nah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think too, the continual escalation of, acts of violence, whether it's, like you said, burning the joint down or, mass killings, like you said, you're not, at the end of the day, you're not dealing with your issue. The shorty that your boy was checking for, she's still not interested.
Right.
So the block is burned, and now what? Right. Or you shot up 35 kids in a school, and now what? Even with the, the political climate here in the U.S., the divisiveness that we're dealing with, and I'm listening to, people take their anger out on various other groups of people. And I'm saying, look, the dude is still the president, right? Or the dude is no longer the president, or she this or he that, or your political party, I mean, it's people are just so volatile now, but they're not dealing with their issues. And I think that's what it comes down to. So on the scale of, I'm a young person and shorty doesn't like me, or, I'm gonna get in trouble because I stayed out too late, all the way up to adulthood where, I'm just an angry adult for various reasons. We have a responsibility to address that within ourselves. And one thing I remember that I'll never forget, man, I was going through some things and I called my father, and this was only like 4 years ago, going through some bad things, and called my father. And you talk about righteous indignation. That's another topic. But I just knew I was right. My father hit me with, but what's the lesson for you?
Right.
And I was like, hold up. Like, you supposed to have my back. And my father was like, yo, yeah, everything you told me, you right. But what's the lesson?
Now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you taking away from this? What are you learning?
Wow.
That was deep to me. So,
yes,
your boy, if he happens to hear this, you burn the place down. What'd you learn from that? For the girl, right? I don't know, not asking for details on the rejection, but, there's a part of me that says, hey, were you a little harsh? There's a way to talk to people.
It's possible.
Right.
It's possible. But in this particular case, whoever's listening, it's possible that's your situation. But in this case, my man had unrealistic expectations. She was never into him.
Right.
But he couldn't handle the fact that she wasn't into him until she was like, yo,
Right.
I'm trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
And he took it to the extreme, like somebody disappointed him when really and truly it was himself who disappointed himself.
Yeah, he had set his expectations so high.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't feeling it at all. But either way, we all are responsible to one another. He's responsible to his hood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She's responsible to herself. He's responsible to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever I choose, whether I'm a young person or not, to do things that are not healthy, to kind of, quote, help myself out of certain situations,
Mm-hmm.
there's always fallout for other people.
Right.
Somebody got to come pick up the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens to me is going to impact other people. So how do we kind of get ahead of it, ahead of the worst of it? Because truly, anybody listening to this who's already in the throes of it, they're in it. Now, how do we get away from sort of the worst that this kind of lifestyle has to offer?
Yeah, and I mean, none of us want to deal with, bad circumstances. Like we don't, but we make mistakes and they are what they are. But, I would implore every listener to just understand that when you develop the habit of approaching situations head on and just acknowledge, I mean, and it's going to hurt and it's going to suck. And it's not great, but at the same time, when you get the habit of dealing with it, then you get through it and you come out better on the other side. And then the next time something like that happens, you don't think to light it up, right? Whether that's the weed or the neighborhood.
Right. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. Yeah. So, of course, this program has never been intended to answer all the questions, but it's a conversation because sometimes when we have our own, what we call self-talk, like this thing that's going on inside of our mind, trying to sort of work out life stuff, sometimes because we either not mature enough or we need another perspective or we're hard on ourselves or hard on other people, we're not able to kind of balance that out. Because we cannot be an island, like we can't be on our own to balance some of this stuff out. So, Uncle Just, Uncle Dave, we're here to kind of speak out some of what's happening, but give you a perspective that can lead you into a responsible pathway kind of thing. So, yeah.
And I want, definitely encourage you guys to hit that button and share your thoughts, comments, concerns. Even if you have you just 100% disagree with everything we're saying, give us some feedback.
Yeah. Life ain't going to get no easier. And I don't want to say that to discourage anybody, but here's the difference. As we grow, as we learn, as we mature, as we reach out and try to help other people, then those things that don't get any better start to lose sort of their impact. Because why? Our focus is now on not just surviving, but thriving, not just, suiting ourselves, but helping other people kind of thing. So when perspective changes in a positive sense, then even those things that, those negative things that may not change begin to lose their power in our experience.
Right.
So don't give up. Yeah.
Take responsibility, acknowledge it, get over it, keep it moving.
Yeah.
You're going to be better for it. Trust us.
Yeah, y'all heard it here first. We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.
There you have it, y'all. Being young and impressive is about plotting your own course, but doing so wisely and with a multitude of great counselors. Never allow life to just happen to you. Take the bull by the horns, pray much, and win at school. Win in your career goals. Win in your approach to adversity. Win in your relationships. And most of all, win in your relationship with God. After all, you're young and impressive. So be that. Young and impressive In this generation, we're counting on you because we need you. Until next time, peace.